Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Welcome, Believe You Me, live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, baby boy?
We are live and in person once again, and we have a special guest with us today. Well, not a special guest. That sounds like we're hyping it up for something special, like we're going to have like some A-list Hollywood actor in the corner. No.
Brock Lesnar is here for the audio listeners.
I brought Rebecca for the carpool. I was running late, you know, in California, carpools are a thing. I'm like, babe, get in the car, come with us, make me get there on time. So
for people that don't know, actually, what it is in Cali, if you put an extra person in your car, there's a lane specifically that you're allowed to go in.
Which, by the way, I drive in all the time.
I was just going to say, it doesn't matter whether I'm there or not, he will drive in that lane.
I have never not driven in the carpool. But now I justify it because the amount of time. Like, it started off, I was late. Well, in fact, no, it started off when I first moved here. I got pulled off the police and I was driving in the carpool. And I wasn't living here. This is in 2008. And I got pulled off the cops and I was genuinely surprised.
You had no idea.
I had no idea. I'm like, why is nobody driving in this lane? I swear to God.
Idiots, beep, beep.
I'm like, you fucking morons. There's an empty lane. But I'm like, these Americans, they're not too smart. So I get pulled over and I'm like, oh, bloody hell, mate. My accent was very much more English back then. And I had the UK driver's license. And the guys went, you need more than one person in the car to be in that lane. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, officer. And he just let me go.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's it. From now on, I'm just going to pull that shit.
Beautiful.
Certainly now I'm working on my acting skills. I can pull it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also I thought, even if I do get a ticket now, I've saved so much time over the 8 years. It's worth the $500 when it comes.
100%. Because you got to think about it. The amount of, let's say you save 30 minutes of traffic per day. Over the course of, what is your time worth? What is your time worth? If you were to break down, somebody to come and say, Michael Bisping, I want you to do something for an hour. How much is your time worth? You have made out by far.
Way more. And because I always think I'll make it up because I'm a fast driver, or I like to think I am.
Yeah.
But of course, California, the traffic's always so bad.
The Maserati, he used to fucking, but now you got that fucking, Honda Civic or whatever you got.
Oh, dude, that's a beautiful supercharged Audi. Come on. Keep it sexy, Lewis. No, so we're driving the carpool. Why did we get onto this? Anyway, we're here.
Rebecca's here, that's why.
Rebecca's here. There you go. And you did a good job in the carpool. You did. I was proud of you.
Thank you. I sat very nicely.
You need to be closer to the microphone. Jeez Louise. Rebecca,
okay,
please.
sorry.
We all know that the quality on this podcast is sky high. Okay? The production values are second to none.
Oh,
please.
I thought you were going to say, spotty at best.
Spotty at best.
At best.
Not today.
No, we're crushing it today. We're all in person. We have Rebecca here. Now, here's the thing. Rebecca, she's not really interesting, but that's okay, okay?
Whoa, easy.
I agree.
That's my wife. That's the mother of my children. She gave birth to 3 Bispings, okay? She's a very interesting lady. Rebecca, say something interesting.
Go.
Right now. Go.
For God's sake.
No,
See,
seriously.
This is why I didn't want to come. We had this discussion. I'm like, I don't want to come because all you're going to do is be mean to me.
Be funny.
And
Go.
And it makes people
We're going
very
to the Kill Tony
uncomfortable.
podcast later. You're going to be a guest. You got 1 minute live on stage.
Oh my God.
Go. You're up.
Go.
Tell a funny story.
Oh my God, I'm walking out right now.
Well, we brought Rebecca in honor of UFC 243 at the weekend. Of course, we had Robert Whitaker.
That is true.
Adesanya took place in Melbourne, Australia. So we brought a token Aussie along with us.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, you don't sound Australian. To me, Rebecca sounds very English. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy because I spent 16 years in England also.
Yeah.
So it's my whenever I hear my accent back right now, it's just a disaster.
Yeah, she said the other day.
It's hideous. I'm
no,
ashamed.
that's your reflection. You're getting it mixed up. The reflection's hideous. The voice, it's okay. It's a pass. But there's nothing there. I mean, it's not American. It's not English. It's not Australian.
By the way,
That's what I mean. It's
for
just,
the 15 minutes
awful.
before we started the show, Michael Bisping has just been negging his wife. I mean, he couldn't be. And she was genuinely hurt at one point. I saw her face and she was about to start crying. And I had to stop her. And I had to say, listen to me, Rebecca, the only reason we can make fun of you being ugly and call you fat is because you're so beautiful. If you were actually fat and ugly, we wouldn't actually be able to do that. We'd be awful people.
It's true, but still, she does need a bit of work.
Well, she could hit the gym a little bit more.
Hit
but
the gym
besides
a little
that,
bit more. She could have brushed her hair a little bit.
We went to the gym today.
You did. And who Peloton today? For 30 minutes.
You did a quick 20-minute.
I did a 30-minute and I sweated like an asshole. 600 calories, baby boy.
30 minutes on an exercise bike is nothing. It's.
I have to say, he sweats profusely. It's
like
disgusting.
A rapist.
Yeah, okay.
I sweat like a Louis J. Gomez.
Whoa.
Wearing those glasses.
My glasses are awesome, and I'm going to keep on wearing them.
I like them.
Thank you, Rebecca.
No, they are. There's a little something. Listen, let me tell you this. They're an improvement.
Well, you know what it is.
But don't take that too far. That just means the starting level, the base level was never that high. But they're an improvement. You got the mustache, you got the goatee, now you got the glasses. Yeah, it's a look, it's a thing.
Well, that's the problem. My face, now that I've gotten fat and I've settled into it, and I'm okay with it, I was looking very turtle-esque. Like when I was completely shaven,
Turtle?
like a turtle, like almost like a ninja turtle. You ever seen a ninja turtle without their mask?
The Ninja Turtles are cool, okay? You were looking like a little old turtle.
Like
you know what I mean? Like out of the Never-Ending Story. What is it? Never-Ending Story, the turtle?
Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
The worm?
The little worm. All right, mate. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember.
It's
the
great.
little worm.
So funny.
But I was not, I was starting to go like, you know what? I'm getting older, 37 years old. I'm not hot the same way that if you pull up my headshot. Just Google image Louis J. Gomez. I'm going to show you guys my fucking headshot. They have it at comedy clubs now.
I've seen
I'm
it.
catfishing people. I'm a gorgeous young man in my headshot. It was taken maybe 9 years ago. I've never thought about changing it once.
I've seen it. It's a very, very nice smile. It's warm. It's endearing. Let's take a look. Can we get it up on there?
Yes.
I think you look better now.
Really?
Jesus Christ, Beck, I bring you here for the carpool purposes. You're hitting on Lewis relentlessly.
What up,
You're
girl?
drinking his warm fluid. Just leave it out, okay?
Yeah, no big deal, Rebecca. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But maybe after the show, we'll go out and talk.
She
We're talking. Mike. Just a second.
Doesn't concern me, does it not? No, a buddy of ours, Jason Falovich from Playline, same thing. They were talking on the phone. Here
The one up top, the yellow one. Yeah, right there. The third one over. Look at me.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Look at
No,
that.
you look way better now.
You think so? With the
Yeah.
facial hair?
Seriously, Becky, just calm the fuck down. You look way better now.
Oh, my God. What I would do to you now, you don't even know.
And here's the thing. I have the exact opposite problem. Go to my Wikipedia page. Jesus
I think
Christ.
you look better now too.
I do look better compared to my Wikipedia.
You definitely, but you were...
No, but you have a good picture. I have a bad picture.
I have a great picture, but you look substantially better now. You've aged very well. You literally just look like a Nazi. Young Michael Bisping just straight up looked like he was ready to jump brown people for walking through his neighborhood.
Go to the Wikipedia page. Click on the wiki link there. Because this is a bad... I look
Why don't you just change it?
I've tried changing it. I've tried changing it many times. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
That's not a bad picture, though. You look handsome there.
Yeah, but
Oh, I'm covered in oil and dirt.
you look like you just finished a workout at the gym.
I look like a dustman. No offense to any dust. I look like a chimney sweep from the 1940s.
Okay. I don't know what a dustman was.
Yeah, I look like a chimney sweep.
Yeah, I don't know. That you're fine there. I'm talking about the old... When you first appeared on the UFC circuit, you had a completely bald head.
Yeah, but I liked that.
Yeah, hold on. Says the guy with the completely bald head.
Yeah, dude, I don't have a fucking choice. You've had a choice the whole time. If I could grow in my hair, I would do it. You just said, you know what, dude? I'm going to look as intimidating as possible and shave it down. You had pale skin. You had a nice California tan now. You were ghostly white with a bald head. You looked as Nazi.
I thought he looked great.
Back in the day, because obviously the hairdressers in Clitheroe weren't all that, shall we say, where I grew up. My hair was terrible. I always had a terrible haircut. And then I shaved it off one day because that was in style. Everybody did that back then where I was from. And I know what you're thinking. That's called a skinhead gang,
Yeah.
Michael. It wasn't called a skin.
Yeah, everybody in my...
Saying that, we would go out on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, actually. And about 30 of us, we would all have skinheads.
Yeah, we try to find some Jews and beat them up. It's not even a big deal. Whatever.
No, do you know what? For a lot of us, it started because this young girl had leukemia. So we all did like a charity head shave.
Look at him. You see, by the way, SJW, Hollywood Mike, there he goes.
Listen,
Nice save there,
if
dude.
you just shut the fuck up for a second, I'll finish the story. It's definitely, there's nothing SJW about this because ended up in a massive fight. So we were there and we're in the Castle pub and this young girl, the landlord's daughter, had leukemia, God bless her. So we did a fundraiser. We all shaved our heads for charity. We all made the front page of the local newspaper. It was very nice. But of course, we're drinking, so we carry on going out. We go to a few bars. And we were in this pub later on that night. And this one guy sitting with us. I don't know why he was saying it. He's like, yeah, I'm crazy me, man. I don't give a shit. You know, I'll do anything. He's just making himself out. In fact, I know exactly who it was. He's a very good friend of mine, but I won't say his name. But he was drunk and he was making out like he was a tough guy. So one of our other friends goes, yeah, you're so badass. Go in there and beat that guy up. A guy random dude just walked into the bathroom by himself.
Poor guy.
But he was joking. He was joking when he said it. He goes, I fucking will. And we're like, no, he won't. And he ran off into the bathroom. And then a minute later, this poor guy came running out of the bathroom with a bust nose going, what the fuck? Anyway, it turns out, so we were all there, skinheads, fresh skinheads, 30 of us, all well-oiled. We'd had plenty of drinks. He was with a party that had been to a christening, and they were on the other side of the pub. There was about 30 of them, and we knew them. They were a tasty crowd as well. Do you know what I mean? So it kicked off majorly. Kicked off like a 60-man brawl in this bar. It was fucking insane.
That's crazy. Was that the biggest fight you were ever involved in?
No.
What?
No, it wasn't.
A 60-man fight?
It was crazy. It was crazy. You know what? In those days, though, in bars like that, it could kick off like that.
And look at the way Rebecca's looking at you right now. She loves it. She is garbage. Okay, I'm sorry. Dude, you're telling the story about a 60-man fight. I just watched her mouth open. She's like, this is the man that I married.
What do you expect? She says that you look good. She says that she looks at you and says, you look great right now.
I said,
what do you expect?
Better.
That is true.
Better.
That is true. I can look like shit right now, and I was just particularly like shit back then.
So I was going to say a moment ago, Jason Falovich from Playline, she said, you talked about him recently, and she goes, what does that look? And you went, oh, a pretty boy? And he won't shut up about it now. I said, oh, yeah, tell Rebecca the pretty boy is coming over.
Oh, shit.
So stop hitting on Lewis and Jason,
call him
please.
a pretty boy. I just wondered if that was the word that you were searching for.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she likes a little bit of attention. Want to leave her alone, Mike?
Yeah, well.
Lonely housewife, pool boy comes over.
You know, you were saying that you got a little heavy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, buddy. I got on the scale Saturday night, 231 pounds.
Really? You're that heavy?
I wasn't.
You don't look that heavy at all.
Saturday night, I was 231. Now I'm down to 220. There's a lot of bloat. I mean, my knees are jacked. So I'm going for the knee replacement next Thursday. I had that procedure on my good knee next week, so I can't do much. And so I've been feeling sorry for myself a little bit. Don't worry, I've got it in perspective because the caring Rebecca Bisping, when I had a little moan the other day, said to me, Michael, because I came back from the hospital and I was all pissed off, going down the hospital again, got to go for this checkup, I got to get a blood test, going in for major surgery that I'm doing over a total knee replacement. It's a big thing. So there's a lot of preparation. And I came back, I was a bit bummed out, right? And I said, I'm fucking sick of going down the fucking hospital, I'll tell you that. And she said, what do you think she said, Lewis?
What did Rebecca say to you? I think she said, she told you to suck it up and stop being a bitch.
She said, Michael, put it in perspective. It's not like you're going in for chemotherapy every day.
Holy shit, you just brought that back around. That was master storytelling, by the way. Master storytelling. And you brought it back to chemo. It was fucking beautiful.
What do you mean chemo?
You talked about chemo, the
little girl.
The girl,
before.
the leukemia.
That's what I did. Totally on purpose.
I know. And that's how you fucking tell a story, ladies
and that's
and
how
gentlemen.
you do it. Exactly. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's what Rebecca said. We ended up having a big argument. I'm like, Jesus Christ, babe.
Lewis,
come on.
do you think that that's a bad thing to say? Like insensitive. What I was trying to say, there's always someone worse off than you. I was just trying to put it into perspective. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's knee surgery. You're not going for chemotherapy. You don't have cancer. Everything's going to be okay.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't have cancer. He's still got to get that blood work.
But one key thing, it's all, as you know this, you're all comedians. It's in the delivery. Yeah. It's in the delivery. And Michael, leave off, right? It's not like you've got fucking chemotherapy. That's not
I
the
have
delivery.
never spoken like that in my life.
Well, no, you haven't.
She's a fucking classy woman. You don't disparage the name of Rebecca Bisping.
Okay. There was a certain stroppiness to it that I didn't appreciate. Okay.
And you did not appreciate it at all.
A little nudge on the leg there. Listen, certain things are for the podcast, certain things aren't. If we berate you and make you look silly, that's fine. Okay. Thing. My reactions, what goes on in my life, are perfectly private.
Exactly. And honestly, the fans have to come back for us week after week after week. You're just a special guest. If they don't like you, it doesn't actually matter.
Exactly.
It's just better for this week's show.
Make me look like garbage. I'm fine with that.
So anyway, later on, we're going down to the Kill Tony podcast.
We are.
And we said we were going to get drunk.
Yeah.
But I'm not drinking.
You're drinking. Shut up.
I'm not drinking.
You're drinking. First of all, I promise you're drinking.
I'm really not drinking because that's all I've been doing. I've been drinking far too much. That's why I'm starting to look like a normal man. Before I looked like, like a god amongst men.
That's true.
Now, ever so slightly, I'm starting to look average.
Michael Bisping's Instagram, it's like a thirsty teenage girl. Like every photo is a perfect angle. Like the upward angle, like looking at it with fucking sexy duck face and fucking abs shining.
Hey, listen, you knew the amount of time that went into filtering those bad boys.
I know.
You would talk with the respect it deserves.
I know. No, we are going later. I'm very excited about doing the show with you. Rebecca's going to be coming out as well, which is awesome. I guess this is going to be, this will be out later on, so they can't come. But look, go support Kill Tony. Tony Hinchcliffe, one of the best comics in the game, and that show is really, really fun. You guys should listen to the podcast version of it as well. We had a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. We don't have a ton of time on today's show. We got to get some tacos before we go to Kill Tony. So I wanted to talk about, obviously, the big fights this weekend. Where did you watch them? Home?
I watched them at home. Yes, that's right. I did invite a few people over, but then Lucas wasn't feeling too good. So, we just watched it at home. Nice and quiet. Enjoyed the fights. It made a nice change. It was great. Awesome night of fights. I mean,
really fun.
Adesanya was incredible. We'll get to all that, but you were going to say something, Lewis.
Well, I watched them. I was in Orlando, Florida. Thank you for all the believers that showed up. I loved you guys coming out to all the shows. It's fucking incredible. So thank you very much. A lot of Florida believers. But I ended up calling Hooters in the afternoon because we had fights. Wait, what up?
No, I'm just saying, do we have extra headphones for Rebecca?
Yeah,
No, I don't want to wear them.
Put them on, Rebecca.
It's not going to look good. It's fine.
Listen.
What do I need?
Podcast production 101. You wear the headphones, babe.
I'm good.
That's a firm no.
We're gonna have another repeat of last night from that.
Pause the podcast, guys. Pause the podcast. All right, we're not on air. Listen, I fucking told you.
You disrespect me on the believing me
in front of everybody. Are you serious right now? Carry on, Lewis. We'll talk later.
Stop pointing at me.
We will talk later,
dude. I fucking So I called Hooters in the afternoon being like, oh, are you guys playing the fights tonight? Because Hooters notoriously always has the fights. Yeah, of course. Come on in. So after the show, there had to be about 40 people that showed up. 40 people go to Hooters, and we run right after the show. We run over there, and this is right when the co-main event is starting. Okay, I'm following online. We get there, no fight on. They have some days and shit on, right? The girl behind the bar was like, oh yeah, we were going to play it, but we just didn't have enough interest, so we ended up not buying it. And I was like, I have fucking 40 people here right now trying to watch these fights. And she just had no... Here's the thing. It's kind of... I was being crazy. I will admit this. I was actually being crazy because I was getting like attitude-y. Because all I want in that moment,
Lewis,
is a fucking acknowledgement.
That's what you do, though. I've seen it. Listen, you talk about me being a little aggressive at times.
Yeah.
But dude, I have seen you. Like now I'm 40 years old. I'm very calm, mature, level-headed, keep everything in perspective, but you do go from 0 to 100 pretty quick.
That is true. Well, I didn't go to 100. I went to probably 60 or 70. And all I wanted this fucking bartender, okay, was to say, hey, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have told you that. That's all I wanted. Just some acknowledgement. I know it doesn't matter, but at that point, I'm just kind of like huffing and puffing, going like, you guys shouldn't tell people to come down here. I got like a bunch of people here right now. And she's like, yeah, whatever, fucking go away.
Because at that moment in time, you're so mad that you're not making sense anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't logically get my point across because I want to fucking kill you right now. Okay? And like you try to talk, but your words don't come out properly.
Yeah.
And you just sound retarded and they look at you like, wow, this guy's really got mental problems.
I walked out. I tried to talk to the guy at the door. Same thing. I was like, yeah, the bartender didn't even care. And I'm just trying. I came on. He's like, dude, go the fuck away. Go away.
Okay, so you just validated every single argument that we ever have. Okay, because sometimes, believe it or not, Rebecca does put a foot wrong. And I'll say it's okay as long as you apologize.
Oh
just give me an apology. Just acknowledge that I'm right and you were wrong and we're good.
Yeah.
But the apologies don't come. So I understand, Lewis, and you don't understand.
Well, because you're obsessed with apologies. Sometimes I don't need to give one. We could just move on without the apology. And you're very good at apologizing.
Rebecca.
He's very good at apologizing because he's had to apologize.
Apologize right fucking now to Michael Bisping. Are you kidding me?
No.
On this show.
Yeah, you've hit on Lewis. Okay. You're all over him. You're sitting next to him.
I don't mind it.
She's sliding closer and closer.
There is body language. You see the way her legs are pointed toward me?
I know. I know. I don't know what to say right now.
It's, you know what?
I'm very intimidated by you with the glasses.
She likes alpha men. That's the truth.
This is true.
Apologize, Rebecca.
I'm so sorry.
No, this is another level of
I have to mean it too. I can't just say the words.
She'll apologize. I'm like, no, that wasn't sincere. Because sometimes I'll say, okay, babe, I think you need to apologize.
Really? Oh my God, I can't take this. I can't take it.
No, she'll go, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, that's not an apology.
Yeah, but can I say something?
Depends.
We might have to edit it, but go ahead, try.
You explode so much that it just goes beyond any. I don't need to apologize to you anymore because you've you know what I mean.
So you're saying that whatever the offense was, he is now.
He's bypassed that.
He's bypassed the offense by being a psycho.
Yes.
The offense is diminished by my reaction.
Oh, you are hitting on one of his best friends right in front of him.
Exactly.
I don't know exactly.
With another guy in the room that you've just met.
Yeah, and honestly, I see you're kind of looking at Mike sideways.
I know Mike's looking all uncomfortable. It's like, shit, she's fucking hitting on me as well. My God. Guys, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
There's a movie plot line. Every time Michael Bisping turns around, his hot wife tries to hit on you. You're like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. It would not go down well.
No.
What are we talking about?
So I ended up watching him at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what happened?
Just catching the main event. I miss Adesanya's walkout. I mean, I guess we could talk about the main. Dan Hooker versus Al Iaquinta was, apparently, I watched the replay of it. Solid fight. Al just didn't look like himself. Never really got off. Dan Hooker just dominated the fight, essentially.
Yeah. So I'll be honest. I was kind of concerned for Al Iaquinta in that fight. I mean, obviously, we all know. Everybody loves Al Iaquinta. How can you not love the guy? He's an awesome person. He's a great fighter. Leaves it all out there every single time. Guest on the show. We're going to get him on again sometime. So he's a friend of the show.
He's got to get a win. But,
yeah, exactly. We don't have losers on it.
It's crazy.
What I mean? We made an exception today for Rebecca. What you don't see on camera is I keep leaning over, stroking your leg ever so slightly. It's okay. I didn't mean it. It was a joke. Here's what I thought prior to that fight. And if Al hears this, I hope he's not offended. He got out kickboxed by Donald Cowboy Cerrone, right? Didn't go his way. It was a tough fight. He showed a lot of balls, but he got beat pretty soundly off Cerrone. And I just thought if he got beat off Cerrone, a guy that, with respect to Cerrone, he has some up and down. He's kind of inconsistent. He's definitely got to be nearing the end of his career. He's not at the start. I'm not putting him out to pasture, but he's got to be getting close to the end. If Cerrone did that at that stage of his career, I was kind of concerned that Dan Hooker, a taller guy, because he's absolutely massive for the weight class, a guy that's in his prime, a guy that trains with Adesanya and all these young killers up there, I just thought, fuck, it could be a tough night at the office. And unfortunately, it was. Dan Hooker's a very, very special young guy. He's got tons of potential. If he keeps improving the way he is, then, you never know. He could be the champ one day. But listen, that's the fight game. Some days you have a good day, some days you have a bad day. Obviously it was a great night for Hooker. It was a bad night for Al Iaquinta. It's a shame because Al's lost 2 in a row now and he was really on fire. Yeah. But
Al's a star in his own right. He hit a thing where people really like him. He was just sort of just didn't give a fuck. Remember he wasn't even shitting on the UFC. He was just sort of going fuck it, dude.
You fucking booing me.
Yeah.
You're fucking booing me. And that was after he beat Masvidal, who's everyone's man of the moment now. It's crazy.
But that's the thing. MMA fans are very fair weather. That's almost rightfully so. It's 1 or 2 great performances. Al's right back there.
But this is the thing as well, just slightly going off topic about MMA. You've got to be good enough to beat your opponents on a bad night. You know what I mean? Because like Tyron Woodley,
that's interesting.
I'm not shitting on Tyron Woodley, but he lost to Kamaru Usman, and he's been doing the rounds talking about it, saying, "Listen, I just had a bad night. It wasn't me in there.
Yeah,
fuck me. I've had plenty of nights like that.
Bad nights every night of my life.
you know what I mean? When I fought GSP, that was definitely a bad performance. Okay, but you can't say that. You can't go around saying that. You're just going to say, you know what? I got beat fair and fucking square.
And it's the perspective of sort of your bad night, no matter what, still has to be better than his good night. And if you're that dude,
yep,
that's it. Simple as that. So very, very interesting perspective. So good luck to Al. Did you see the walkout?
Of course.
The dance? I didn't see it live.
Lewis, I take this show very seriously.
Obviously.
It's an MMA-centric show. Of course, people are getting a little bit annoyed in the YouTube section, I see, when we do our little, our little joke around at the start, dude, we need MMA. I'm like, but a lot of people prefer that. So
they're mixed. It's mixed.
I'm getting mixed signals, guys.
Can I tell you what it is? people like to give an opinion. They feel like they need to have an opinion at all times, right?
Yep.
So if they're not giving their opinion on something, and typically it's going to be negative, that's that. I don't think that those people really dislike us bantering about non-MMA, right? I think they just prefer the MMA. And then I think the other people, it's not that they don't dislike us talking about MMA. They go, no, I kind of like the dynamic when they joke around. But they just kind of want to come with an opinion in the comment section.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and unfortunately, well, we like to do that at the start. Anyway, the point I was making was that I do my research, Lewis. And I know if we're going to talk about these fights, then I'm watching them, Doggy. I'm sitting there, I'm studying the finer intricacies. I'm seeing who's in the corner. I'm observing the choice of walkout music, the demeanor of the athlete, the look on his face as he's walking in. So yes, Lewis, do not insult me like that. I saw the fucking walkout. I saw the whole thing. I paid $70 for that show.
I was just doing an impression of your wife. I said no respect for you.
Rebecca, don't laugh at his joke.
Did you pull up the walkout for a second? See if you can pull up Israel Adesanya's walkout, because it is pretty funny. And if you guys haven't seen it, I guess there's mixed reactions. Harrington in his notes, I guess he called it a gay ass walkout or something like that. I got no problem with the walkout.
Yeah. Do that again. We need that as a GIF.
Did you say you don't have a problem with the walkout?
I had no problem with the walkout.
I got no problem with the walkout. I got no problem with it. Look, if he would have lost, he would look like a jerk off.
Well, that's what I said. Listen, I'll be honest. When it started happening, and then it went to like that tunnel, and it just showed him some guy walking out. I was like, hold on, this isn't normal. You know, I'm in the production side of things these days. I kind of know. I'm like, hold on, we got something special. Yeah. And they walk out and they start doing that thing, and when the three of them, those three extras, you know, they were doing the little thing. I wasn't into that. I was like, okay.
You can pull it up while he's talking about it.
This is a little bit lame. But then when Adesanya came out and he did his little thing, I mean, listen, the guy can dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can dance. He's got the moves. He can fucking break dance. He says, listen, it seems like there's nothing that Adesanya can't do.
Mike, let's take a quick second and talk about BetDSI, which is such an amazing company to gamble with. If you guys like to gamble on sports, or really anything, they take odds on almost anything. You've heard of BetDSI. This is probably the one website you've heard of. And the reason you've heard of them is because they've been in business for over 20 years. They're top rated on most business review sites, and they have a super easy to use interface. So people love to go back. It's most gambling sites are confusing as shit. They make it really easy.
Very, very simple. And here's the key thing. They have built their reputation on the fast payment of winnings, which is crucial. It really is. You go out there. Listen, we talk about it every time. You know, a sporting event is better if you've got money on it. But then when you win, if you make the right pick, a lot of these sites, they dick you around a little bit. Not with BetDSI. As I said, they built a reputation on fast payment of winnings. And the good news is, through the promo code that we give you, they'll also give you a 60% bonus cash match. So, for example, if you're feeling, you know, you're feeling rich and you want to take out a big flutter and put $1,000 on, they'll turn that into $1,600, which is amazing. And of course, who's got $1,000? Not many people. If you put $10 on, it becomes 16, and so on and so forth. So if there's a sporting event coming up that you want to watch, perhaps it's UFC Tampa this weekend. Joanna Jędrzejczyk taking on Michelle Waters, and I'll be there. I'll be commentating, so I can't make any picks. But if, for example, you want to watch the fights, you want to have a flutter, then I suggest you go to betdsi.com and you use the promo code BYM120. That lets them know that we sent you there and helps us, but it also helps you because, as I say, they give you the 60% bonus cash match. So once more, betdsi.com, promo code BYM120.
And I also should explain, just for those of you, if you've not gambled on BetDSI before, if you guys decide to take that bonus cash, because you can opt in for the bonus cash or not, right? If you opt in for that bonus cash, just so you know, there's a rollover requirement. I mean, you have to gamble a certain amount of times with that bonus money before you can pull it out. Just some people hit us up.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were like, oh, hey, dude, the BetDSI didn't give me the money. Just understand the way it works. And this is literally with any gambling site at all. If they give you free money, there's going to be a rollover requirement. But if you decide to just gamble and go there and use our promo code anyway, you can pull out the money right away. So it's up to you if you opt in for any of those bonuses. But once again, it is betdsi.com. Use that promo code BYM120. All right, let's get back into it. So yeah, they got these guys. They start dancing.
Yeah, this is at first this bit. I wasn't too keen on this bit, only because I didn't know where it was going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Why is the Jabberwockies coming out and fucking doing a performance?
I'm like, who's this dickhead?
Yeah.
Why is he mean mugging me through the camera?
So 3 Puerto Rican guys. Like,
yeah.
Are these guys even supposed to be there?
I'm like, that's the worst hacker I've ever seen in my life.
What's funny is I didn't even see the full dance. I only saw when Adesanya comes out in the clip.
So he comes out, of course. All right, listen, we don't need to watch it. We don't need to watch it. We get the idea. He comes out and he nails it, and they do a cool little dance. And, you know, the guy is he's charismatic as hell.
He's being entertaining.
He's being entertaining, being a showman. And I was like, you know, I wasn't sure how to feel because I was like, dude, he better win this fucking fight. Because it's all well and good. If you come out like that, you put a show on, you have to win.
You have to win.
Otherwise, you look like the biggest dickhead.
Dude, if he had a choreographed dance routine and then got knocked the fuck out, holy shit, that would be hilarious.
But, and this goes into what Adesanya says, and he's absolutely right. You know, I mean, goes into his confidence. I mean, he knew, and he spoke all week that, you know, like a guy that was going to go out there and win that fight. And going out there and doing that dance, doing that performance, of course, that puts you under extra pressure. Of course it does. But
you know how much energy it takes to do a fucking backflip? I would be out of breath. I wouldn't be able to make it to the cage if I tried to one backflip attempt.
Well, we talked about it with that guy, Michelle Pereira, the other week. I don't think you saw that one either. I did. Again, goes back to the research side of things, you know. But the guy backflipped all over the place and got gassed.
Oh, yeah.
Ran out of steam. Yeah. No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Cool. You know, here's the thing. You like the attempt or don't like the attempt. I'll put it in the same category. We talk about Colby Covington all the time. We talk about these guys that...
How on earth are you going to put Colby and Adesanya based on that dance in the same sentence? Go ahead.
Watch.
Can you break dance?
No, I can't dance for shit.
Have you ever tried to break dance?
No.
Come on. I think everybody... Mike, what about you? You've tried to break dance? You can break dance?
No.
I think everybody, when they're on their own at some point, when they were younger, is like, I wonder if I could do that shit.
Yeah, and you can't.
Yeah, you can't. That's how I know I can't. Because I've tried. I can barely walk. Certainly now with my two knees, I fucking definitely can't walk.
I mean, to lift my body off the ground with just my hands, do you know how difficult that would be? Could you do that? Can you just do that move?
I can do the, what is it?
No.
The worm.
What do you mean, no?
No, I'm saying you can't lift your body off the ground with
just two hands.
Just your hands.
Rebecca.
No.
Anything I want.
Babe.
Listen, if you put your mind to it,
No.
if you conceive, believe, achieve, shut the fuck up.
She knows.
That's at you.
She sees you getting out of breath in missionary position. So the idea that you're fucking putting all your weights on your arms.
I can do the worm.
Okay.
I can worm it up, bad boy.
I mean, big boy.
Listen, once I get my knee replacement, Jesus Christ.
You're going to get into professional dancing.
Fucking Americans Got Talent. That's
Dancing
where
with
we're
the
going.
Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
There you go.
Woo.
No, I'll tell you how I compare it to Colby. It's just he's being a showman in one way or another. It's just a different type of showman. He is going above and beyond the normal straight and narrow, which is obviously you got to win. Obviously you have to be a badass. Obviously you have to be able to knock motherfuckers out. That is what you guys do. You're professional fighters. You're obviously you should be trying to be the absolute best in the world, but it's the guys that go a little bit above and beyond for in whatever way they do it. Those are the guys that stand out and are memorable. And whether you loved it or hated it, people are talking about Adesanya's, not only his performance, but who he was as a showman that night as well.
I agree. Sorry, I was just ending the Instagram live. I'm just like trying to expose us to a bigger audience.
I know, baby boy. You're researching, you're doing Instagram Live, and you're producing.
It's non-stop.
You're abusing
Bringing
your wife.
guests.
It's ridiculous.
Bringing guests. Exactly. Carpooling legally for once. Listen, it was awesome. I mean, I guess this is a good time to talk about the fight.
Of course.
And then before we drift off into other nonsense, there is some good things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Adesanya and the abuse he got off the Australians. I mean, those Australians, they're a nasty bunch.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, Rebecca. Don't worry. Listen, you know, where do I want to start on the actual fight? Okay, listen, the walkout was great. He's a star. He's got charisma, all that type of stuff. And right now, he's poised to be possibly the biggest star in the UFC. He could even overtake McGregor at this rate. He really could.
Yeah.
Because he's just, well, for one, he hasn't got the negativity surrounding him. He hasn't made all the mistakes. Now, who knows? You know, he might go down that route, but I doubt it, you know?
Doesn't seem as such. He seems like, you don't actually know, because the truth is, it's only what's presented to you.
Yep.
You look at everyone's social media, everyone's crushing it. Everyone's eating good food. Everyone's always working out. If you just look at people's social media and Instagram, holy shit, everyone's got a great fucking life in the world. But the reality is they're not taking pictures of them arguing with their girlfriends, them losing their jobs, them having, trouble paying their bills at the end of the month. So you get a glimpse. So we don't actually know, but I don't get the vibe from him that he's like, he doesn't seem like that same.
Such a dickhead.
Maybe, yeah, he doesn't seem the same. By the way, he does sort of seem like a dickhead, but not the same type of dickhead that a John Jones or a Conor McGregor is. Those guys, they they seem like they party. They seem like they go out and do that. I don't know why Stylebender doesn't seem like he has that same thing about him.
Do you know what? He really went up in my estimations when we had the Hall of Fame ceremony. He was sat there. I don't know if he was by himself. I'm sure he was with somebody. But when the cameras went on him, seemed to be just in there paying respects to the Hall of Famers. And to me, that really, I like the guy anyway. You know, he's always entertaining when he fights. Brings it every time. He's entertaining on the microphone, on Instagram. He's very, very funny. He's got an awesome account. You need to follow that. But just the fact he was there, you know, at International Fight Week, he went and paid his respects to people being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I thought, wow, that speaks volumes about the man.
How old is he?
He's 30 years old, which again, that really shocked me. When they introduced him on Saturday night, Whitaker was 28, I believe, and Adesanya
They're both
30.
very young.
They're both they're kids, right, Meg?
Children.
You wouldn't hit on them, would you?
No.
Too young. She likes a nice,
She doesn't.
nice older man.
What about 6'4" black guys? Whoa! Jeez Louise.
Well, you know what it is? I was almost going to say maybe it's because he's young. Like, I look at the same thing with comedy. Like, I have so much respect for like comedians that like came before me. Like I romanticize it. I look at comedy like I grew up as a fan first, and he has that about him. He talks about being a fan. There's that great shot of him being in the nosebleed sections a few years ago.
That's right. That was so cool.
That's so relatable. That's why people are going to like that. That is something that people are like, dude, even though he's definitely full of himself. He believes in himself. He has this like, he sees himself as being better than everybody else, which we've talked about this ad nauseum. You have to in order to sort of get that level of success in the fight game.
Well, there's a similarity to Conor there as well, because I remember the event. I was actually there. He was with Pat Barry, I believe, at a UFC event years ago when the UFC first went to Dublin, and he was just a fan, just in the crowd, and he spoke about it. He did some interviews and said, I'm a young aspiring MMA fighter, but one day I'm coming and overtaking the UFC, and of course, taking over the UFC. Of course, he did that, and there's a similar thing there with Adesanya. But still, listen, I mean, he was incredible that night. I want to talk about Robert Whitaker a little bit because, and I'm not taking away from Adesanya's performance. Adesanya was perfect. But I thought Whitaker, and again, Adesanya was perfect. His fight was fantastic. He knocked him out in the first round. I mean, did you see that?
Yeah,
I mean, of course you saw it.
Say about the bell.
Fuck me. Talk about saved by the bell.
Well, we were in a bar, so we didn't know. At first, it looked like the referee stopped it, and that would have been like crazy early stoppage.
Well, because if you watch it closely, he gets hit and his eyes roll back.
Yeah.
His eyes roll back and he hits the floor.
Yeah.
Like he's been shot in the head.
Yeah.
And if he'd have followed that up with one more shot, that was done.
Yeah.
Okay? But so I'm not taking away from Adesanya at all. So I just want to preface that before I say this. I thought Whitaker's game plan was all wrong. I thought he didn't look good. He looked... I mean, Adesanya said this on the post-fight show. I saw a little clip of it. He said, I could read it in Whitaker's body language. He said when he walked out, he said, I was there. I was dancing to Whitaker's music. He was nice and calm and fluid. And in the moment, Whitaker was walking out, banging on his chest and getting all hyped. Now, he always does that. He always fights like that. But I've talked about it ad nauseum. That's not the way to fight. When you're angry and getting yourself psyched up, you're never the best version of yourself. And then, of course, listen, he's got a hard task on his hands. He's got Adesanya, who's really tall, opposite him. He's got to get on the inside. But the way to do that is to use head movements and feints and try and get Adesanya to react. And then you close the distance and you look for combinations. You parry Adesanya's shots. You come in with a 1-2. You slip. You use footwork. All Whitaker was doing was leaping in with a left hook from the distance. You know what I mean? Every single time. That's how he opened up every time.
I mean, you texted me frustrated during the fight about that specifically. You're like, he just keeps on jumping in with the left hook.
He just jumps in with the left hook. It's a shitty... I mean, number one, it was so predictable. And secondly, it was just a bad move. Just bad game plan, bad advice. After the first round, his corner should have said, listen, we got to do something different here because you just got knocked out and you got saved by the bell. They didn't really give him too much, they didn't change the game plan, didn't give him different advice.
I didn't hear what the corner said.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Adesanya was awesome. He went out there.
What's the advice to give him in that moment? Like, what could you possibly give him? It's like, dude, be a better athlete than this guy.
No, it's like, listen.
He's getting.
I would have said, listen, stop jumping in like a fucking retard with a left hook because you haven't landed it once, okay?
Well,
and you're going to get knocked out.
He did land it when he got knocked out. When he literally, that
was a jab. I think it was a jab.
It was a jab?
It was a jab. Maybe. I don't know. Jab, left dog. Who cares? Potato. Yeah, listen, we got a new champ in our hands. Adesanya was absolutely sensational. Whitaker, he said, I'm only 28. I'll be back. And I respect that. I do. And you never know because he has had some fantastic fights. And you know what? It's easy. It seems like I do this to Adesanya every time because Whitaker's stock was sky high. But in my mind, you know why it was so sky high? Because he beat Romero twice. Right? And Adesanya said it all week. He said, so what? He beat a 43-year-old wrestler. I don't fight like a 43-year-old wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's right. He doesn't. He fights like a world-class kickboxer, right? And I think because, Romero's had some good fights. He's had some good wins. He's an intimidating-looking guy.
Yeah.
He's a powerful, explosive athlete.
It was sort of a foregone conclusion that he was going to be the dude. It was like everyone was like, Romero's obviously the next guy in line to take over this division, and that sort of never materialized.
So he had those 2 wins, and he beat Jacare as well, prior to Jacare being knocked out as well. So I think based upon those, but it's like we said in the last show, all his wins were against strikers, so... But listen, that sounds like I'm shitting on the performance of Adesanya. I'm not. It was perfect. He hardly got hit, hardly got touched. He looked incredible. And I can't wait to see his next fight, which, of course, as we know, which, by the way, before we go there, how beautiful was that with his family in the cage? His mum and dad.
Yeah.
And
he presented his mom the belt.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. A beautiful moment. Yeah. What do you think, Beck? Was that a beautiful moment? Chime in. Say something.
Very beautiful. I've been in that situation. I've been in the cage with you.
How did you feel about that? How did I handle that moment for you?
You didn't present her with the belt.
I didn't get on my knees.
You didn't present me with the belt.
Did I even mention you?
He's like, move, bitch.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is my time. Go fuck yourself.
No, you did. You were always very nice to me on the mic.
Yeah,
no, that was a lot of praise. It was actually one of the nicest moments. You with your family in the cage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all phony shit. We really dissected this. Besides, the moment my children was born, this is the most. Fuck off. Fuck off. He would miss his kids being born 10 times over.
Let's keep it on Adesanya, okay? It's not about me, Lewis, okay?
Yeah, it was a nice moment. Adesanya, honestly, I obviously, it's hard to not be a fan of the guy, right? And I said it before the fight because I did pick him in the fight, even though I was sort of rooting for Whitaker. Just because he's an everyman quality. I have a hard time rooting for the guy that is so gifted and talented. I don't connect with that guy. I kind of was raised with shit and I didn't have any natural talents. I had to work for everything that I've had in my entire life. Nothing was really ever given to me. So when there's a guy like John Jones or a guy like Israel Adesanya where it's like, dude, you are God-given abilities.
Oh, for sure.
That's not the same thing. And honestly, Whitaker, it's probably downplaying his God-given abilities because he's an athlete, a beast of an athlete too, but he just comes off more like an everyman.
Yeah, for sure, because he is. He's very humble. He doesn't talk himself up too much. He has quiet confidence in himself. Of course he does. Otherwise he wouldn't do this. But as you said, it is very likable. And he doesn't talk trash. He doesn't talk shit. He doesn't even engage when Adesanya was talking a bit, he was like, all right, whatever, just kind of shrug his shoulders, which is endearing and it's good to see, but it doesn't build your star quality. It does, as you said, it gives you an everyman quality, a blue collar type of mentality that people can relate to.
I think the hardcore fans like that.
Yeah, but in terms of fucking building a superstar, you've got to think that was a better result for the UFC because his stock is so high right now. It's all people are talking about. Of course, he's calling out fucking John Jones. I mean, that's incredible. But John Jones did fucking sun him hard. What'd he say?
You didn't see the tweet?
Ooh. I saw something. Remind me.
It was good. Pull up the tweet if you can. But so Adesanya was like, oh yeah, I see myself fighting John Jones in 2021. I was going to get a few more fights in this division. And then John Jones was like, I don't want to misquote him. So let me see if I could pull it up.
Mike, do you have the notes and stuff like that? Do you have the links in an email to click on? All right, I'm going to forward you. Oh shit. Well, that's not good then.
Yeah, I have it right here. This
learning curve. We want the links of Costa and the Australians at the weigh-in. We're going to come to that shortly.
I got it right here. Okay, so by the time this is what John Jones says or about Adesanya, this is on Twitter. By the time this kid gets his confidence together, I'll probably already be in the heavyweight division. I don't need to wait till 2021 to start believing in myself. Sit down, son.
Yeah, but hold on. I don't think that's that bad.
You don't think?
No, because he just won a belt and he's going to defend it at his weight class first. Right? He knows Costa's there, which is the right thing to do. I hate it when somebody that just becomes the champion immediately starts talking about people at the next weight class, like Zhang Weili, the Chinese lady that just won the strawweight belt. Good for her. God bless. Amazing. But she's calling out Shevchenko and stuff like that. I don't know if it was serious. Maybe she's just having a bit of fun. But as we've talked about many times, there's no risk when you go up a weight class.
Of course.
So of course they want to do that. They want to be the guy to have 2 belts in 2 divisions. And there's no risk because if you lose, if you get beat, you've still got your belt. But Adesanya's saying the right thing. No, I have to beat the contenders first, then I'll go up at 2021. So I think that's a beautiful thing for
It's a realistic thing to say, excuse me. It's a realistic thing to say, but it's not necessarily what you want to hear if you're calling out John Jones. I don't want to hear I'm calling out John Jones in a year and a half or 2 years from now. Like, just either call him out or don't call him out. Call out the next guy. It was great.
Yeah.
The moment with Paulo Costa when he's talking shit to him. They didn't like Paulo Costa in the ring for some reason. Was there a reason specifically they didn't allow him into the cage?
No, I don't know. I just think maybe there was for a challenger to go into the ring. It's all pre-organized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not.
There already has to be maybe more hype already going into it.
Yeah, and it's not a spur of the moment thing. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's planned.
Yeah, premeditated.
It's planned. There you go. Premeditated. That's what I was looking for. It's premeditated by the UFC. They know they're going to do it. Like when I went in to challenge the winner of Romero and Whitaker, for you dickheads that say I ducked Romero. If Romero had won the fight, I would have challenged Romero, you fuckwits.
Easily.
But he didn't win the fight. He got beat off the guy that I challenged.
What is he supposed to do? Romero can't win the fucking fight.
He can't win the fucking fight. Jesus Christ, what do you want me to do?
He would have loved to fight him. He'll fight him right now.
Get him over here. But I've got somewhere to be at 6, so he's gonna have to get on a.
This is weird. I gotta get back to Orange County.
I've got a thing. No. So that's why they wouldn't let him in, because it's a security issue and things like that, and then you've got camera angles and TV's production. So But
Adesanya, rather, I guess he was talking shit to him outside of the cage, from the cage, which is a cool moment too.
He was sticking the double fingers up.
Give him the suck it, the whole pro wrestling whatever they call it.
That's a good fight, though. And the good news for the UFC and for Costa and Adesanya is that none of them are injured. And that fight should probably materialize pretty soon, I would have thought. And Costa is Costa's a tough fight. Costa's a tough fight for Adesanya.
Rebecca, what do you think of Paulo Costa? I mean, just look at that picture right there.
I mean, there's a guy that's in shape, but think about me in my prime. Hold on, let me just pull up my Instagram real quick. Hold on. The last post I had. Ooh, look at that baby boy.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Paulo Costa's built like a fucking god. Holy shit.
You know what I mean, babe. You know what I'm
We're
saying.
insecure. I want everyone to realize it's his own wife, and he can't let Paulo Costa just have a moment.
Just feel that right
I know.
now.
Very hard. Well done.
Jesus Christ. Just don't touch my stomach.
Dude, Paulo Costa, I mean, he's a big guy. How tall is he? 6'4", 6'5"?
Relax, Lewis. Jesus Christ.
He's
listen,
thick.
it's fine. It's 2019. You like whatever you want, but save the sexual talk for another podcast, okay?
I mean,
you do Legion of Skanks. You do the Real Ass podcast. You do all these other ones that you promote heavily. I don't see you promoting this one, by the way, but whatever.
I promote this podcast probably more than I promote any other podcast.
Don't start me off, baby boy. Let's talk about this Costa thing real quick.
Yeah.
Can we bring up the link that Harrington sent to play for everybody? Because Australians can be mean, man. So Paulo Costa flies out to Australia. He's the guest fighter. He's giving up his time. You don't get paid for these things. He flies out there. He entertains the fans.
And for the greater good of the sport, the greater good of also the champion of that division. This is part of the promotion and building up this champion.
He did it purely for the Australian people, Lewis.
Obviously.
He didn't do it to cement him being the next contender, which is what he really did. That's exactly why he was there. But it's better if we say he gave up his free time to fly to Australia, which is on the other side of the world, to answer questions for the Australian people. And what do? He's never hurt an Australian. He's never fought an Australian, never said anything bad. He went out there with his shiny shirt on and he got mocked, ridiculed, and just... Give me a third one. He got mocked, ridiculed, and insulted.
Disrespected.
Humiliated.
His soul was crushed.
Beck?
Trashed.
He was verbally raped by the Australian people.
He went home and cried his eyes out. Rebecca?
Cried himself to sleep.
No, I said cry. Lewis?
Shit himself all night. He had diarrhea.
Couldn't even get a harder to jerk himself off because he felt so bad. He's like, come on, baby boy. Let's go. Don't put that on.
Luckily, he had a blue chew.
Yeah, fortunate. Well, let's just take a quick second to hear from BlueChew.com. Listen, what is Blue Chew? It's a performance enhancement for the average man. I'm not an average man, we know this, but there is average men out there that need help in the bedroom department, Lewis.
If you took a Blue Chew, you would literally puncture Rebecca's heart out of her body. It would be like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Fatality. Finish him. I already
Finish
did.
her.
I finished myself.
She finished 3 times.
Jesus Christ, her parents are never going to look at me in the eye ever again. But, listen, some people do need a little leg up, shall we say?
I
need
do.
a little bit of help,
I don't give a shit.
sometimes. And Blue Chew has the same ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. They can work on on a full stomach or an empty stomach. In fact, they can work up to twice as fast. The online physician consult is free, so it's cheaper than the other two. It only takes a few minutes to connect to a BlueChew.com affiliated physician, and if you qualify, you get prescribed online quickly.
5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. You fill out a thing. They come back to you and they go, cool, you're approved for this. Now you have a prescription. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to go to the pharmacy and have a conversation with someone.
Hi, I'm here for my erectile dysfunction medication. I'm here because I can't show my wife a good time.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. And they look at you and they give you like a little look out their eye and they're like, you're pathetic.
Can't do that. Now you get to do it all from at home. You get to internalize that pain and then take it out on your wife in the bedroom.
Does that sound good, babe?
She's turned on right now. She's speechless. All the blood has flown from her head right now into her diva cup.
And if you, Jesus Christ. So listen, now, of course, we've got a great deal for you as well. If you go to bluechew.com, BLUE chew.com, your first order will be free when you use the promo code BELIEVE. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code BELIEVE. There, you will be able to chew it and do it. Show your boyfriend, your girlfriend, show a bunch of people a great
both.
time.
Get crazy.
Just go crazy. BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. All right, where were we?
While he pulls up that clip, take a moment and plug some stuff. Real quick, go to our YouTube channel right now. Subscribe right there. You get all the latest episodes on our YouTube channel. All of our interviews are now up there as well. Go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star ranking and a positive review. We love the reviews. Please, that's how people find the show. And every episode is available on demand, in advance, ad-free and uncensored at gasdigitalnetworks.com. Use the promo code BYM for a 14-day free trial. Save a couple bucks a month on that membership.
And I will say this on the YouTube channel. The comments are fantastic.
I know.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but still, every one of you that makes comments, thank you very much, because any YouTube video, the comments, they're full of dicks.
Yeah.
But none on our page. It's all positive. So thank you all. Every single one. I've started trying to respond. I do respond, Lewis. I don't see you on there, though. I don't see you taking the time.
He just lies. He's a liar.
Do you respond?
How do you get away with being a liar and people still like you? It's crazy to me.
I don't see Luis J. Gomez says...
Go to the last video. Anytime somebody disrespects me, I ask them to fight me. It's my thing. If they start talking shit, I'm like, dude, fucking meet me right now and fight me.
Isn't it weird how you do that? You gravitate towards the negative. All the real nice ones. Oh, you guys are awesome. We love the show.
I know.
Yeah, that's cool. What? Somebody says they don't like it. Let's respond to that person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I try not to do that. Now I just block them or whatever.
Well, did you hear in England, there was that girl, they sort of angled this story as she was arrested for trolling. But then you find out a little bit more. She was actually harassing this woman. But I guess it was a trans woman, and there was another woman who was like a blogger or whatever. But she's, started tweeting at this woman. And I read this article, and it said, this person was arrested for harassment or whatever. Then you've come to find out that she actually released her personal medical information, her address, a bunch of other shit, and she was actually actively getting people to try to harass this woman. So there's a line there. I mean, but it's kind of interesting that it's sort of going into a place now where, depending on how far you take trolling, you might actually get arrested.
But I thought, certainly in the UK and the USA, freedom of speech.
UK, dude, they...
Hold on. Don't start this shit because you get Americans. I live here. We choose to live here. Don't look at me like that.
You want to go, bro?
Listen. I'm not sure if it was your belly or your chest, but something just approached me, okay? Tuck it in. Get tighter jeans or something. I'll lend you a pair. No, listen. There's freedom of speech. You can't go out there, prophesizing hate speech, but freedom of speech.
I mean, I believe, freedom of speech. Say what you want. I mean, I really am I'm a huge supporter of free speech, especially in the arts. Definitely not being arrested for your speech. I don't believe that you should be able to say anything. If you work in a library, you can't just run around the library, calling people hateful names.
I am going to talk very loud. I know you're all working hard and you want quiet, but hold on. That's a library, Lewis. The rules are no talking.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so that's different.
That's a good point. Fine. All right, fine.
The rules are the only thing you have to do in a library is not shout.
Fine, a post office. So I'm not saying that you should be able to just say whatever you want with any repercussions, but...
You guys have post office?
Yeah.
Sis?
Yes. I have
You lived here for 20 years.
I don't mail a
He
goddamn
doesn't
thing.
do anything. I have to do everything.
No, listen, here's the thing. Like, people very kindly send me things, right? And people all the time are like, hey, can you sign this? Can I get a copy of your book signed and all the rest of it? If I did this for everybody, I would be doing nothing else than going down to the fucking post office. I didn't do very well at school. It's because little clerical things like that aren't my forte, okay? So, no, I don't go to the postal office, Lewis.
It's a bit much to ask for somebody to send something back.
No, all the time.
We had that happen one time.
All the time.
There was a guy who drew like a poster or something, like really nice, and then I don't know why I committed to this guy. I was like, yes, I will get Michael Bisping to sign this for you. It's so nice of you. And then it became my responsibility. And I mean, after about 8 months, this poster's sitting somewhere. I have no idea.
The amount of times I get a message on Instagram and then they tell me something and it's really heartwarming, it's endearing, and I'm like, okay, I'm going in the post, I'm going to send you a pair of signed gloves, I'm going to send you the book, I'm going to send the picture and all the rest, and I mean it. I mean it. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then this goes on for like years. I swear to God, it's gone on for years. And then I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
I completely forgot.
I've been traveling a lot. I really meant to do it. And I'll be on my couch. I'll be like, I'm in Brazil right now. But when I get back, it's the first thing I'm going to do. And then eventually, they just give up.
They die.
Eventually,
they die. They were sick. They were waiting for some sort of light or
then
hope.
I blame Rebecca. I'm like, babe, for fuck's sake, just send him a book, would you?
I know. But sometimes it's literally as simple as that. Like, people will win merch, and then I'll go, all I have to do is write an email to Mike, who does the merch.
Oh, I know.
All I gotta do.
I know. I was trying to get signed T-shirts forever. Not signed, T-shirts.
Right now, all I gotta do is email Mike. He mentions this on every show. Michael Bisping. On every show, I go, dude, of course. At the end of the show, I'm going to send that email. I don't think about it for a second after the show.
I'm very proud of myself. Last week, what were we doing, babe? We were tidying up and I found an envelope and it was addressed to me, worded from a fan. And I opened it for the first time. Not for the first, yeah, of course, it was sealed. I opened it and inside was a Topps card, right, with me on. There was a picture of himself and a letter. And it was the nicest letter, wasn't it, Beck? And there was a picture of the guy who was a sergeant in the army or whatever. And I was like, does this guy not realize I've got better things to do than to find an envelope, put it on, write the address and all the rest of it? And Rebecca said, no, look, there's a self-addressed, already stamped envelope.
He did it.
All you have to do is sign it,
the card.
Put it in, and you don't even need to go to the post office. Go outside. So I said, what? Do I just... I just put it in and they come and take it. And what did you say?
Like, you have to lift the flag to let the postal worker know that there is something to go and they will take it.
Never done it before in my life.
And that's what happens.
His mind is fucking blown. Look at him.
You left, but that's where we get the mail. We put the mail in there as well. It's like, wow, what a crazy system.
Did you send it out?
I've sent it, and if that fucking guy doesn't send me a fucking email of appreciation, by Christ, I will find you. I have a very particular set of skills. Where were we? So, Paulo Costa, weigh-ins. We got some footage to play here.
Go ahead.
Mike, put them on. Take a listen to this, Rebecca.
Israel, when you can't last 5 rounds.
It doesn't come through the headphones, just through the speaker.
Nobody see me fight for more 3 rounds, you know. My last fight is the only fight that I go to 30 rounds because I finish very quickly. But Romero is a tough guy and he supports me for 3 rounds. But Adesanya Adesanya cannot stay with me on octagon for more 1-2 rounds or 2 rounds. Or 1 or 2 rounds. He cannot survive on octagon with me for 2 rounds, you know.
During the Romero fight, you got knocked down a few times. What happens when you fight a decent striker like Robert Whitaker and you're not going to be able to get back up, mate?
What happens when you fight a decent striker like Robert Whitaker?
You think Robert Whitaker is more dangerous than Romero?
Romero.
Yeah, he beat him twice, mate.
That was a good answer. He said, you think Whitaker is a harder fighter than Romero? And he goes, yeah, he fucking beat him twice, mate.
Fight, mate.
You suck, Paulo. Shut up.
It's just
you suck. And now they're saying you suck.
And these are reporters?
No, these are guests.
This is the MMA media?
Oh, there's one more, I think, in a minute.
And I will be glad to fight against him, you know. I'd like to bring this fight
to
Brazil.
Steroids.
I think it will be amazing. But I'm chair for Adesanya because I want to fight against Adesanya more than Whitaker. You know?
Don't worry about Adesanya. He's not going to win.
Okay,
tomorrow.
no problem.
He's not going to win. Right. Bobby Knuckles is going to knock him.
Bobby Knuckles is going to knock him out, right?
Oh, well, you were fucking wrong there,
Yeah,
mate.
I think so. I think Hobbs will.
I guess Costa really
Hold
looks
on a
like the
minute. I
asshole
love
here.
Australia, by the way. If anyone's
Yeah.
listening to this, I do love Australia. I'm not
Right,
just
you can
busting
stop it, that's
balls.
fine.
We can stop it there. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy.
I feel bad for him because first he's so good looking that the accent and with the accent he just seems dumb. That's what. But he's just,
I have the same problem.
That's- it's
because
true.
I've got these model good looks. I'm like chiseled, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're like,
The accent.
Like a bimbo.
They're like, my God, there's no way he's intelligent.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but that doesn't like his accent. Like he doesn't understand the language, so he's not really understanding the questions. He doesn't get that they're making fun of him.
I know they're talking so much shit, and then there's another bit later on where they say something. They say, "Oh, how many steroids you gonna take to fight him?" and all the rest of it. Rebecca, when I went down there and I fought Vanderlei Silva, same treatment. They oh God, the vile abuse that I had to take. It was bad.
Like in person though, like people
As
are
I
being
was walking out, lunging at me, spitting, and
Oh,
They spit at
come
you? No.
on. No,
it sounds
they
better if I
didn't.
say they were spitting.
they threw acid at your face.
They were hissing at me, throwing dog shit in brown paper bags and stuff. You know, why are they like that, Rebecca? Why are your people
They're criminals.
like this way?
They were removed from England because they were garbagey criminals, and they have a whole island now. They
Yeah.
put them on, and
Well,
they don't know any better.
So Australians, they call us Poms, right? What do they actually call us, Rebecca?
What do you mean?
Whinging Poms.
Yeah, whinging Poms.
Whinging
you are.
Poms, right? But Pom stands, and that's, what their nickname for English. Pom stands for Prisoner of Her Majesty.
I didn't know
they're-
that.
Yeah, that's where the Pom comes from, Prisoner of Her Majesty, because back in whenever it was, they sent all the criminals down there. But realistically, the Americans, they're the Poms. The Australians, pardon me.
The whinging pom is an expression often used by New Zealanders. It refers, of course, to a complaining English person. If someone is annoying someone else with their moaning, they'll be told to stop acting like a whinging pom.
Pom.
So Michael Bisping turns into a whinging pom, I'd say, every other episode for the first 15 minutes before the show starts.
I just want to hear Rebecca and you. Go on, Rebecca. Talk to Lewis. I'm going to watch.
Why? What do you mean?
Just. But we're not.
Why?
This is-
Why?
I want to hear.
Okay.
Am I a whinging Pom?
You better use your words
No,
wisely,
babe,
woman.
not at
Am
all.
I a whinging Pom? Be honest.
No.
Be honest.
No.
Liar.
She's terrified for the audio listeners. I want you to just realize the icy look that Michael Bisping just gave her. Speaking of icy
Been
look,
known to
We-
whinge a little.
See, there you go. For the sake of the podcast, and you just be honest.
couldn't do it.
I don't
I
give a
couldn't do
shit.
it.
Throw me under a bus. I don't care.
Michael Bisping went viral on last week's show.
Why?
did.
Why?
Oh.
Oh, you.
You literally went viral.
So let me tell you this. Yeah, of course, last week I surprised everybody by impromptu whipping out my eyeball. And that wasn't planned, by the way.
Yeah.
But a good friend of mine, Anthony Evans, that wrote the book, Quitters Never Win, which will be getting released next year in the grand old USA. He said that we're getting ripped off because that clip is all over the place on YouTube, right? And some of the channels have got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. And he said, if you email YouTube, the footage originated from our YouTube channel and we'll get all the pay.
Yeah, we can take out copyright claims, but
So let's sue everybody.
it's just not enough money. People that don't understand the way
I
it
want
works.
to sue somebody. It's always me getting sued, okay? Just for once, let me sue somebody, please.
He's right to a certain degree. So we could take out a copyright claim, and what they would do is, because we have the copyright material, we can file a claim. So if it's monetized, we get the
$7.
It's just not enough money. Here's what we do. We actually, most of the groups that post our clips, because there's a lot of them that have big followings, so it's not like if we, first of all, I'm not going to take out, I don't like doing that. I don't like posting like clickbait, right? So we're not going to take the clip of you pulling out your eye and being like, Michael Bisping shocks everyone. And that's just a little bit weird for us to do. And the same thing with like when we're talking shit, a lot of times the clips that we have, it'll be us talking shit or saying something controversial. They put it out and it goes viral. I don't like being clickbaity like that, number one. And then number two, we reached out to them. So what we do with those channels, we say, look, we won't take out a copyright claim if you include our ads in the in the clips.
Sure.
And a lot of them are very compliant.
Well, that's good.
And then, we get conversions for it and,
Yeah. So the thing was, obviously last week, we were talking about the glasses that you're wearing, which look great, by the way. We've established this. And you started busting my balls, what about you wearing glasses? So that caused me to pull it out, right? And I thought, I'm retired now. You know, I'm not trying to hide it, and so fucking what. So I did it. Anyway, went all over the place. When I got out of bed the next morning, I had TMZ. I had so many journalists hitting me up. A lot of them were very upfront and to the point. And some of them like, hey, Mike, we haven't caught up in a while. I'd love to jump on the phone with you and see what you're doing. And I called them out on it straight away. I'm like, oh, yeah, very convenient. I'm all over fucking Google whipping my eyeball out. And you want to speak to me all of a sudden. As I say, I wasn't trying to, cause any... cause a shitstorm, so to speak. But
no, I don't think you thought anything about it.
I didn't think anything about it, but
when you did it, I didn't think it would even be something that was acknowledged after.
Yeah. Well, it certainly was. And the thing was, I've so many people ask me questions about it. You know, a lot of people reaching out, websites writing articles on it, and all this type of stuff. I didn't have this when I was fighting. Okay, right. Because I couldn't have done, because commissions do check your eyes, but I had a terrible, terrible eye, and after fighting, it just looked fucked, and I didn't want to spend the rest of my life, so I went to this place and they did this prosthetic shell cover. So when I'm out and about, I put it in. If I'm going to do TV work, I'll put it in. If I'm doing a podcast, I'll put it in. When I go to bed at night, I take it out.
It literally moves.
It does.
It's crazy. It's pretty. I remember when you first got it, I looked at you. I was like, I don't want to say anything. I was like, how is that even fucking possible?
No, I know.
It moved. It couldn't look any more real.
Yeah, no, I remember when I went and got it done. So first of all, they did a mold, didn't they, Rebecca? So they did this little mold. They put it in just so it fits, and then they send it away. Then it comes back, and then the woman hand paints it. They take many pictures of your eyes, and she hand paints it herself.
Perfect color, perfect pigment.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then they fit it in, and then they grind it down. It wasn't sitting quite right, and it's totally handmade, and it's a terrific piece. It really is, but you got to get them done all the time because, about once a year, you got to get a new one because my eyeball is shrinking. My right eyeball is shrinking. So as it shrinks, of course, the fit.
That's a resize.
You got to get it resized. Yeah. So that's like, I think they're $4,000 a pop. So, and I listen, I'm really, really proud of myself.
So do you?
Because I was going to buy two. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fucking idiot, right? And I'll whip it out when I'm drunk, or you know what I mean? Like,
just in case you lose it.
Yeah, because I lose it. I'm like, all I'm gonna do is leave it in my face, and it's not gonna fall out. But when I've had a lot of tequila and it's surging through my veins, and someone like brings them up my eye, I say, "Oh yeah, you want to see something?"
It's a party trick. Well, that's what a lot of people were saying. Like Errol Hawani, and then there was another journalist who was like, "Oh yeah." I've seen you do it, by the way.
Yeah,
so you've done it for people before, but people just sort of like.
Well, when I spoke to that journalist, Simon Head from The Sun, I think it was, he was talking about my eye. And he was asking questions about my eye. And then sometimes when they're asking questions about my eye, and they're like, they say, "Oh, everything's fine now, isn't it? It looks good."
Like, here, hold this.
Sometimes I feel the need to have to show them.
Right.
Because, I still have a lot of lasting impressions from my fight career. I still have my loss of vision in that eye. I'm going for a knee replacement and my neck's fucked. And I don't want people's sympathy, but I also want them to know, hold on a minute, nah, my eye ain't fucking fixed.
Yeah.
Boom, look, that's why I took it out. But then I also said, do me a favor, that was off the record.
Right.
And I never said it was on the record, Simon Head, by the way. But I guess I did take it out on a podcast. That kind of makes it.
Yeah, so that's fine. Everything's on the record now. Once you take it on a podcast. All right, so how about this? Clear this up, because I think people were sort of speculating. I was watching the comments on both, all the pages.
Did you respond to any of the comments?
No. No, wait, did I?
I respond.
I might have. Hold on, I might have.
Man of the people, I'll respond. But it's okay. We know, we get it. You got the shades on, you're all Hollywood. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
I fucking labeled you the bad, the
man of the people?
No, the baddest motherfucker champion.
Okay.
The BMF champion.
Sorry, you're absolutely right in everything you say. That's what I was saying. Continue.
Exactly. Clear this up, because people were like, "Oh, well, no, he didn't have that. He got that after the fact. He could see fine when he was fighting." How much could you see out of your bad eye when you were fighting?
Rebecca, don't.
What?
Well, tell her about ask Rebecca how much stress did my eye cause me.
Oh my God.
How much stress did it cause you? You got to look at him every day.
Yeah, I couldn't see her, so I was fine.
Yeah, he's good.
No, that was. I think that was the hardest thing about fighting towards the end, was the stress with the eye and the everything that brought. And
passing medicals, worrying.
Yeah, that type of thing. It wasn't really the fight that was stressing you out. It was the medical situation. And is this all going to be whipped out from underneath me the last minute.
Yeah, exactly. That was always the fear. You know, you got to do an entire training camp. You spend for training partners. You hire coaches. You invest a lot of money into a world-class training camp. Certainly towards the end of the career when I was world champion. And then you fly away to another country or wherever it is. You take your whole team with you. You got flights.
Australia. People are being spitting at you.
You got hotels, fucking Aussies, hotels, meals, all that type of stuff. Then you got to pay them as well. You know, and when you're the champ at the end, you know, you're paying them good money as well. And then if it's all pulled from under your feet at the last minute, they pull the rug from under your feet, you don't get paid, but you're still going to pay everybody else. Right. So that was very, very stressful. The thought of going in there in the octagon and fighting with impaired ability, that never occurred to me once.
That never fucked you
Never once. I look back now, you know, like sometimes, because I don't sit there and watch my fights, do I, Beck?
No, never.
Never. But now and again, I'll stumble across one online and I'll be there and I'll be like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be the champion one day. I came across a clip the other day and I'll be like, fuck, man, where did that guy get that from? Because now it's crazy to think, to go out there and fight with one eye. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. But at the time, because I was so hell-bent on achieving that goal, it didn't bother me at all. Did not occur to me for 1 second that I was at a disadvantage. Now, of course, towards the end, GSP knew about it. Kelvin Gastelum knew about it.
He specifically talked about how they planned to attack that side.
No, for sure.
Knew there was an issue.
And the cat was out of the bag. The cat was out of the bag. Everybody knew, so I had to retire. And then, of course, the good eye started fucking up as well. But what was the question? What did you ask me? Oh, so how impaired? I mean, so it's like this. If I take this out now, I mean, and I cover one eye, I can tell when the light goes on and off.
So that's you tell.
That's about it.
That's it.
So that's it.
It's there's no seeing a fist. There's no.
No.
But you had said something about you sort of compensate, right?
Yeah. Well. So the thing was like at the start when I was still fighting and stuff, I could see 2200 vision. I would pass the test, but that's clinically blind anyway.
Right.
But then as it went on, some days you had good days and bad days, and towards the end it was non-existent. But yeah,
it's pretty badass, dude. I mean, I know you don't like to suck your own dick. I mean, you do, but not about that. Like, it's something that you honestly you don't really talk about much, but it's pretty badass to go on to win the title, 12 fights. Basically, having really, really, really limited vision. I think a lot of people respect, especially we just came off the fight where who was it that got poked in the eye and couldn't continue?
Oh, Jeremy Stevens.
Jeremy Stevens.
No, I know, but that's the thing. So, like, obviously...
People were giving Jeremy Stevens shit after you pulled your eye out there. We're like, dude, really? You couldn't fucking continue, you pussy?
No, Jeremy Stevens had a scratch cornea, right? And I've been there. I've had a scratch cornea.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. I'm kidding.
I know. But when I had one of my surgeries for... I got glaucoma. When I had the surgery for glaucoma, when I came round... the doctor had fucked up and scratched my eyeball as well. And that was the most painful thing. It was bloody horrible. So I understand what Stevens was going through. Sometimes when I see some fighters and they say, I can't go on because I can't see. When they say, and Jeremy Stevens didn't say that.
Yeah.
But when I see some fighters saying that, then I think, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Come on.
Really?
Can't you? You can't say.
You can't fight with one eye. Let me tell you, buddy. Yes, you can.
There's a will, there's a way, my friend.
We'll make it work. All right, what are we talking about? What are we doing?
We'll wrap this one up in a minute or two because we do got to get out of here, go get some lunch, go over to the Comedy Store, and tell some jokes over there. Let's just save questions for the next show.
Do we have any questions?
I don't even know. I don't feel.
All right, well, let's not because we got Harrington's not on board and
that's fine.
Mike's here. So what should we talk about real fast, Rebecca? What's on your mind, Rebecca?
What was the thing you sent about the bathroom stalls?
Oh yeah, Portland have banned urinals in public buildings. And they're spending hundreds of millions, or maybe 48 million, I seem to remember. They're spending about 50 million, or maybe something like that, to so there's genderless bathrooms. Which, I don't know. I mean, good for everybody. I'm not bothered whether you're gender, male, binary, trans, whatever it is. I just feel like spending $50 million on getting rid of urinals. There could be a better use of that money.
I just snoped it. Okay, so it's mostly false. This is a rumor.
Oh,
the urinal
Jesus
policy
Christ.
related to it's one building, the Portland building, not all public buildings. The city itself owns and manages the building. So the notion that the ban on urinals was illogical and misleading. So yeah, they're not there. It's one building in particular, but I guess it's still a conversation.
It's not a good use of taxpayers' money.
It's just like, if they're renovating it anyway, I don't really give a shit. Like that's the thing. So I guess it's sort of misleading when they say they're spending all this money to, how much money are we wasting to not, it's just sort of like, in my opinion, it's a non-issue. I think the bathroom issue is this. Just make every bathroom multi-gender. Who gives a shit?
Every bathroom. Well, I give a shit. If I've got a 5-year-old daughter, I know I sound like a fucking asshole here when I say this, but I don't want men in a public toilet if I can't go in. Well, saying that if it's genderless, and I guess I could go in.
You could go in, yeah.
I guess I could go in. No, I'm saying if I had like a 4-year-old daughter, you know what I mean? I'd want to go in there.
Yeah, you'd go in with her anyway. You'd bring her in the men's room.
Yeah. So, it's a stupid situation because
it's
if the man was in there, I could be in there as well. So yeah.
Exactly. And then it sort of like becomes like, it's just sort of, you leave all the...
I feel a little weird about that, to be honest.
Yeah, well exactly. We're here talking as men, he, him. What about her,
she, or whatever you say.
We're not mocking, I promise. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel a little weird about men just walking in when I'm in the bathroom.
Boom!
You know why?
News on a movie roll. Anyway.
Nice. Well, I think it's because also we've sort of been conditioned to that, right? So if you had just grown up...
Hold on.
No,
Rebecca probably
kind
said
of
something
things...
intelligent. I missed it because I was reading.
No, I was just saying I would feel kind of weird about men coming in and using the bathroom in the same...
space
as I do, just because the things that we have to do in a bathroom differ greatly from what you guys have to do.
What are you guys doing in the bathrooms?
No, I don't mean anything like that. But sometimes we have to kind of do very feminine things, and I don't want you going.
Jesus, tell us more, babe. Listen, you're never coming on the podcast again.
Like it.
You're hitting on Lewis and Mike, right?
The fans love it. By the way, the fans are all in love with Rebecca right now.
Good.
But I would feel very kind of strange about doing that with a male stranger in the stall right next to me.
But I know what you're talking about, because in some restaurants or some like clubs or bars, you know, it's fancy these days. You have the men's area, you have the women's area, right? But then when you come out, they have a communal wash area where you wash your hands.
Yeah,
you've seen those places.
But that's kind of out in the open.
So is that what you're talking about? You still have a problem with that?
Well, if you know how bathrooms in America, like, you can see through the door.
Let's talk about this.
Like, there's no
the greatest country in the world
there's
cannot
no
design a door
bottom, and there's a gap. Like, I could see what they're doing in there if I really wanted to.
Louis jerking off in the bathroom at the airport so he sleeps.
I wouldn't have a problem if it was an actual door that closed properly and it had a top and a bottom, and I felt like I was in my own private area.
Do you know what we're on about? There's a gap in public restrooms. Why? You know, in England, it shuts flush.
It does.
And you can't see in.
Do you know in Syria they shit in a hole? Fucking first world problems, guys. I got to be honest with you.
But why is that? Why is that?
It's a third world country. They didn't develop any sort of plumbing. I don't know, Mike. I'm not a fucking scientist.
Hey, there's shit in the floor in France as well.
They're gross.
What?
Yeah, you go to France and you take a dump. It's in the floor.
China too.
In China,
you'll go to China and people will just be squatting on the side of the street taking a shit.
Have you ever been to China?
No, but I've read this somewhere.
I went to China recently and I was shocked.
Did you watch people shitting? No,
not the side of the road. I mean, it was the old-fashioned dumpster. You know what I mean? It was a hole in the floor. I was like,
really?
Come on, really?
What do you call it? The
shit hole.
No, you call it a
dumpster.
Where you're crouching down. What is that called?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. No. You're racist. She's racist. Wow. Okay. Not cool.
Oh dear. Anyway, back to this, Rebecca. So you're fine with that, are you? So you go into the restroom, you want to take a pee, and there's Lewis, right, with his glasses on.
What up, girly?
Right, just like staring at himself in the mirror, thinking, "Damn, you look good," and you're like, "Fuck, man, you do look good. How you doing? I'm just gonna take a dump. Just wait there." Are you fine with him there?
But here's what I'm saying about conditioning, though. Since we were kids, we all just used the bathroom, and taking a dump wasn't considered an embarrassing thing in front of the person of the opposite sex.
No, but it is.
It sort of is, but I think it's only because we've been conditioned that way. Like, it's not embarrassing for me to take a shit when there's another guy in the stall.
No. But that's something that's very private.
Yeah, but
okay?
I'm not
you don't
talking
do that.
about that.
No, you're not talking about that. I know. Sorry, I was very crude.
Changing your tampons.
I was trying to be silly.
That type of thing.
Yeah, but you're freshening up, shall we say?
Powdering your nose.
But there's a man on the other side of the door, washing his hands.
He's like, it smells like pennies in here. What's that?
And you wouldn't be comfortable with that.
I would not.
At all. Elaborate. You can't just say that. You have to elaborate, babe. It's a podcast.
Well, I'm trying to imagine the situation. I'm trying to think how I would feel, but I wouldn't like that. It's a very...
Lewis, would you like that?
Because if a woman kind of knows what you're doing, it's fine. It's like we all have to do it. But if a guy is like, oh my God, I know what she's doing in there.
I mean,
They might be kind of grossed out and weirded out.
I grew up with all women. It's just maybe it's a different perspective because I grew up with all women, so I'm not grossed out by a woman doing her feminine hygiene shit.
Oh,
I am.
He's
really
such a
It's the
child.
other way around. Never mind you being offended that there's a man on the other side. I don't want to be in there knowing there's a woman on the flip side on her period,
bleeding to death.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. If we start doing that, then you're gonna have to take care of it at home. We're gonna have to put a ban on the period doing.
What about a diva cup, Mike?
What's a diva
See,
cup?
now that's a
You know
whole
what a diva cup
other
is?
story.
What's a diva cup?
You don't know what a diva cup
He
is?
should do because
What is a diva cup?
Rebecca, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
it's good for the environment.
Shut your face.
What are you
I want to
talking
hear
about?
nothing else about this. That's disgusting.
Stop! You better not be. I don't know what one is. What are you saying?
Would you like me to explain what a diva cup is?
I don't.
Show him.
I want Lewis to show me.
I don't have one on me right now.
Ugh.
So a diva cup is
Babe, just remember the world's listening and your parents, so go ahead.
it's just okay. A
No,
diva.
no, what's a diva cup?
So when we're on our periods, we can either use like a he doesn't even like the word period.
What? It just goes into a cup?
Doggy.
Listen, I'm trying to
Tell
explain.
Tell him.
Is this a thing?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, it's
Rather than absorbing and soaking up like a towel, a cup on the end collects it and they empty it.
It's on the inside.
You take a shot. It's healthy for you.
Even worse.
But then you reuse it. You have to wash it.
Recyclable.
Dishwasher safe.
Yeah. Think of the environment. Single-use plastics. No, not these bad boys. We reuse them.
It's much better for the environment.
Do you
They're
put it-
actually better to use.
Do you put it in your dishwasher?
No, I do not.
Jesus Christ. imagine-
I've ate out of those dishes.
Yeah, no, I'm taking a sip. What is this unusual cup? You can't fit very much in this. I mean, it's a little uneconomical. I got to keep filling it up with orange juice.
He's drinking coffee out of a diva cup.
Fuck, I need a bigger cup, okay? This is bullshit.
Yeah, but it's if I was doing that in a cubicle and a guy was right there, I might be a little.
If you empty your diva cup in public, you deserve to be shot to death. I don't give a
Listen,
shit.
I'll tell you this. We've been together for 20 years. I've never heard the words diva cup.
because
Leave her
I know
mouth.
I can't even use the word period without him nearly.
Rebecca, do not listen. We don't want to get divorced, okay? Do not be saying that you have a diva cup in your bag that you just didn't feel comfortable telling me. Just like what?
Babe, do you walk
I've
around the
got one.
house with your eyes closed? How do you not know this?
I do see certain products in the bathroom that I do. Listen, I don't see out of this eye, so I stand back. Okay, they're there, but I can't see them. They're back again. No, they're gone.
You don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I don't see them. I don't see them. Fuck, I've never seen a diva cup. I've never heard of a diva cup.
That's so funny that you don't even know that your wife uses a diva cup.
She doesn't use a diva cup.
She
Don't
does.
put that out there.
She just said
Rebecca.
it. He's like, Rebecca, tell me you don't use a diva cup,
Oh
baby.
my God.
Please.
Who are you?
Think of the
Who am I
environment.
married to? Jesus Christ.
My
What
head-
is wrong with a diva
It's
cup?
Halloween. I get it. You guys are joking me. It's a prank. I get it. You guys, you're terrible.
A cup of blood. Like that exists.
Yeah. Vagina blood.
Ooh.
It's gross.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
Good talk.
I've never
guys.
met a woman who uses a diva cup in my life. I've just heard about them.
I've still never even heard about it. But don't hold on. Listen, I don't know. I don't like where you're going with this. I've never met a woman in my life that uses a diva cup, but
Why? What's wrong with us?
today I have.
It'd be funny when you get up tomorrow and accidentally put her diva cup in your eye.
I'm like, it doesn't fit. My eyeball must have shrunk. The diva cup doesn't fit. Why is it so red?
Oh, shit. All right.
shit.
We got to
Okay.
go. Let's wrap this one. This is a
Leave
lot of
it there.
fun.
All right,
Rebecca,
bye-bye.
you're awesome. Thank you for doing the show with us. Such a
you
good
for
having
sport.
me.
We
Always.
love you, babe. You're the best. And Mike, Unfunny Studios, thank you very, very much. Everybody listening to the show, tell your friends, subscribe, leave reviews, all that good stuff. And we'll be back later in the week. All the best. Thank you. And stay away from diva cups.